We were just hit with the news that Tua is out on Sunday. Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy the Bridge, Teddy backup, Teddy two gloves. He is in for the Miami Dolphins Sunday, 1 o'clock, Gillette Stadium, AFC East showdown on the first day of the new year. Patriots do or die game. Miami not as do or die, but still pretty much do or die, considering that the Dolphins play the Jets week 18 and the Patriots go up to Buffalo. It's going to be another difficult game. You need the Jets to lose this Sunday, then the Jets to win week 18 in Miami. Looks like they could be getting Teddy Bridgewater in that game as well down in South Beach, or rather Miami Gardens. Do you think, Andy, the news, and by the way, I would like to remind everybody that today, Andy Hart, who is usually part of the Fitzy and Hart show, of course, that's how it rolls since his name is in the masthead, Andy Hart's appearance today and all of his opinions, especially on the New England Patriots, are brought to you by our friends at McFarland Energy, where they provide the most dependable home heating oil delivery and HVAC service, including Lennox heating and cooling systems. Learn more at McFarland, McFarlane, energy.com. And, of course, you can always catch Andy Hart's McFarland Energy videos at weei.com, where we often serve as opinionators, columnists, bloggers, and more. So, Andy, Mr. Patriots Opinion, the fact sheet, I'd trust you more than I would a rap sheet. How much do you think this affects the Patriots' preparations for the Dolphins, and does this increase or decrease their chances of pulling out a very needed win on the first day of the new year?
Well, so the gamblers, like, who we put a lot of credence in, right? Like the lines and the money, they know something.
Yep.
The line shifted, 4 points, I believe, was the shift. So
4 points?
Yeah, I believe it was Dolphins by 1.5 to Patriots by 2.5. With this injury news. The injury news to Tua, even before it was, but you kind of presume Bridgewater might be in the mix. I don't think it's that significant, personally. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a good NFL backup. As I've said, and Patriots fans are annoyed with whatever, he automatically becomes, if you beat him, at worst, the second best quarterback you've beaten, right behind Goff. He's better than Ellinger and Trubisky and Wilson and all the other litany, McCoy, the litany of backup quarterbacks you've faced, right? Like, this is a guy that was one time a franchise QB borderline, and then obviously the knee and everything just went awry for him, but has been a good quarterback for multiple teams. And I also say he's Teddy, like, check down. You're going to tell me he can't just throw the ball to Tyreek Hill in space? Like, he doesn't have the accuracy to do what they want to do efficiently, offensively? Like,
oh, my God, that would make him the perfect quarterback for a Matt Patricia offense.
Well, a Matt Patricia offense if they had the weapons on the other side of the ball. But, yes, so I don't see this as a dramatic difference. It's certainly better than dinged up Tua, the guy who was throwing it to the wrong team and didn't know what plays were being called last week.
Sad.
Tours. So Teddy Bridgewater is a backup quarterback, but he's still a similar challenge to me. I'm not the biggest Tua fan, so I think this is still, the weapons are the challenge. The scheme is the challenge with the Dolphins more so than, oh my God, the quarterback. It's not Josh Allen going down. It's not Patrick Mahomes going down. It's not Joe Burrow going down. It's a second-tier quarterback who's being replaced by a good backup.
But it's obvious how well Tua was playing this season, that, like we said earlier, like the coach being a coach, peer, mentor, buddy, was working out well for Tua.
Yeah.
Obviously surrounding him with speed, elite level speed at all levels of the offense was benefit. I mean, look at how good his numbers were. In the first half, he was 9 for 12 for 225 yards and a touchdown. Second half, after he suffers the concussion, 7 for 13 for less than 100 yards, 3 picks. So obviously he works in the system. Tua is pro caliber, a pro quality quarterback, and was having a terrific. Hell, didn't they mention him as like an early MVP candidate?
Absolutely.
With the way his numbers were skyrocketing earlier this season?
Absolutely. He was mentioned at portions of this season as an MVP candidate with that offense and with McDaniel. But so I want to look at Bridgewater here. So Bridgewater this season is he's played in 4 games, started 1. He's 0-1 as a starter, 62% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for a 85.6 passer rating. But this is a guy who every year for the last 5 years, his passer rating, 4 years, has been over 90. He has a career passer rating of about 91, career completion percentage of 66%. career touchdown to interception ratio of 74 touchdowns to 46 interceptions. Like, he's a quality player.
That's basically like a 3-2 touchdown to interception ratio. That's all you could ever ask of, and then some, out of your backup quarterback, and someone who needs, like you just pointed out, someone who needs to come in and basically play the game of, here, I'm going to design the offense where I'll get our elite talent in space. You just get the ball to them.
Right. And you have the weapons for a guy this is tailor-made for a backup quarterback, tailor-made for a feel-good, where the numbers, you easily can, in this offense, can look like, 8 of 9 passing for 180 yards. And then you go back to one of those air yards and you're like, wait a minute. Your air yards is like 22, and those guys did the rest. Mm-hmm. They ran the rest of the way. So if I'm the Dolphins, this isn't the normal drop-off. This isn't like, oh, crap, our season's on the line and we have to go to our backup quarterback. I think they probably have decent faith in Teddy Bridgewater.
I would agree, and one of the things that I've been sort of pointing out all week or hearkening back to as an element in play would be the elements on Sunday. The first long-term forecast had the day being rain-soaked and messy. It's going to be warm, unseasonably warm for this time of year, in the mid to upper 50s. The first forecast had the day being rainy, but of course, wait around 5 minutes. If you don't like the weather in New England, it'll change in a heartbeat, kid. Now it has a sprinkle in the morning. It's actually going to be mild and partly cloudy during the day. So basically, it's not going to be a rainstorm. So whatever your passing offense is going to be, it's going to be on Sunday, which I think affects things further. And now, yesterday, the Patriots signed a former backup cornerback from Carolina to the roster. Like, is this basically letting us know Jalen Mills, probably not going to see him again? Is this letting us know Jack Jones more dinged up than it's just a bruised knee, I'll be fine? Because ever since he said that, he hasn't been out there for several weeks, and it's hurting them. And they need him Sunday.
I wouldn't read too much into, is it Tay Hayes, I think, is the guy's name?
Trey Hayes?
Willie
Mays Hayes?
Tay Hayes. It might be Tay Hayes. I think I might have
like
nailed
Mays,
that.
run like Hayes?
Yeah, Tay Hayes to the practice squad to replace Washington, who went on practice squad IR, which is a side concern there because of the tight end situation.
There goes your little Jordan Humphrey depth. Do we bring him back this week?
They haven't so far, and I think they would have. They had the roster spot on the practice squad. So, yeah, you're banged up at tight end. You're banged up at cornerback, but I don't assume we're going to see Tay Hayes necessarily. I think you're still going to see the mix of Jones and Bryant and those guys that
you see him before Shaun Wade?
No, because we've seen Shaun Wade, and we didn't need to see him because he immediately gave up a touchdown. But Shaun Wade, who had been a healthy scratch, I believe, a week earlier against Vegas, not a healthy scratch, excuse me, a dressed but did not play DNPCD, which you rarely see in the NFL. That was a lot of letters, DNCPC, NFL. But, Shaun Wade is still in the mix.
Did not play coach's decision. I was just trying to do that.
It's an NBA term.
Yes.
You never look at the NBA box score, and it's got like 4 guys on the end of the bench. And
100%. I was just, since I'm only stuck in third gear today, I was like trying to do like the acronym, like, right, did not play coach's decision, right.
Guess I shouldn't assume that the Sports Talk Radio listener and co-host knows what DNPCD means.
All right, why did that have to become personal? Everything with you always becomes personal, never passing up a chance to take a shot at your old pal Fitzy. Okay, fine, I'm here for your slings, arrows, barbs, critiques, commentary, and so much more. It is interesting, though. Do you think, okay, let's just play sports radio. It's the perfect day to kind of do this.
That's our job.
Do you think this now gives consideration, not for the Sean Payton factor, because I don't think they're unhappy with what Mike McDaniels brought to the Dolphins franchise, but do you think this now gives them pause on committing to Tua as a long-term option at quarterback and makes them think, well, Stephen Ross, he did want to bring Brady in. It did cost us a lot of money and draft picks for him having a conversation with him on the phone, on the yacht, wherever they had him. Do they maybe now consider the owner quarterback option Stephen Ross was willing to go to for Tom Brady, who obviously is just like dunzo? And if so, oh my God, that means Gronk's going to wear a Dolphins uniform. I'm going to throw up.
Well, he doesn't have the itch right now. Maybe next year he'll have the itch.
Bull. You and I both know. All right, we'll examine this on the other side, too, because there was some audio and some tweets from Gronk about this as well. It doesn't have the itch now. Yeah, why is he tweeting out that he's bored?
Well, maybe he was actually bored. Like literally, not like career bored. Maybe he was just sitting on the couch and maybe DirecTV was down, so he had no TV to watch. Wi-Fi was down, and he's like, I'm bored. Guess
Were there some googly eyes that followed it just so we can
It's
all
like the
get on
eye
board?
emoji every trade deadline season.
yeah, like why do we have to read into everything? Eye emoji.
Because that's what everyone
Shove your
does
eye
now.
Emojis. Yeah, I hate it. Hate it.
Hated it. Brady and Gronk in Dolphins uniforms next
Twice
year.
a year.